What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Links and Locks Best Bets podcast. I'm Jason Sobel from the Action Network. Ben Everill as well. Let's just say Ben Everill is he's not here this week. Ben's taking a couple of much needed days off. A lot going on in the golf world. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, a reminder. As always, the Links and Locks podcast is proudly presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game, get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offer available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia in the U.S. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. As we move on to this week's RBC Canadian Open, yes, there's some other news in the world of golf. I won't get too deep into it. You came here to this podcast probably looking for other ways to think about the sporting landscape, the golf landscape this week. And so I know there are plenty of other ways to get your fix on all the news that's going on with the PGA Tour, with the DP World Tour, and the Public Investment Fund merger that took place on Tuesday. I've written a couple of articles about it. You can find those plus player reaction at actionnetwork.com and the Action app. Plus you can listen along to our shows on SiriusXM's PGA Tour radio channel, and you can find us on the app there as well. So plenty of other content. I'm not trying to ignore it. I'm not trying to overlook it. But like I said, if you came here to this podcast this week, you want to find out how to hit some green. And I think you can find out all that other information in other places. So happy to talk to you about it in other spots, other outlets. But let's get to this week's RBC Canadian Open. Only playing 9 holes this week without my Podpards Benny around. He will be back for the U.S. Open next week in his adopted hometown of L.A. Will be at Los Angeles Country Club North next week. Cannot wait for that. But I'll get to the first hole, and as always, like to start out with a little bit of a long shot outright play. And this week, as most of you know, there's been no Canadian winner of the RBC Canadian Open since 1954. That's right. Take a swig every time you hear the name Pat Fletcher this week, and you will hear it plenty because there have been some close calls over the years. Mike Weir, Corey Connors, but no winner of the Canadian Open has been a Canadian born player since back in 54. I think it could happen at some point. I think it's going to happen with an under the radar player. And so I know Connors is the best Canadian player out there, won the Valero Texas Open again this year. Adam Hadwin's knocked on that door. Mackenzie Hughes playing some really good golf. Adam Svensson with a win this season. Taylor Pendrit's a guy that I like a whole lot. But I'm going to go here with Nick Taylor, who's got a couple of runner-up finishes already this year. One in Phoenix, one at the Zurich alongside Adam Hadwin as his partner. Nick Taylor at 66-1 this week. A short, tight Oakdale Golf and Country Club course. Now, we don't know a whole lot about it. It's never hosted the RBC Canadian Open. And quite frankly, we're not going to hear that much about it over the next couple of days because until this tournament starts, all the talk, of course, when players actually stand in front of cameras and microphones is going to be about the news in the golf world more so than it is about this golf course. So we won't probably learn a whole lot until we see them actually playing on Thursday. But just over 7,200 yards, a par 72. I would look at guys who played well at the Sony Open at Waialae, Pebble Beach, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, the RBC Heritage at Harbor Town. Those leaderboards should give us a good suggestion of the type of players who can play well this week. I'm looking for guys who are accurate, guys with wedges well, guys who can make some putts. Nick Taylor is a guy who's gained strokes with his irons in 9 of his last 11 starts. I like taking a chance on him. I was hoping for a little bit bigger number, but 66-1 with an inferior field, certainly not out of the realm of possibility that Nick Taylor, who of course has won at Pebble before, can go out and win this golf tournament. All right, I'll give you a little more conservative play with the second hole. Shane Lowry playing some really nice golf right now. The putter has not gotten warm for him throughout the season. He's been very good tee to green, usually a very good player around the greens and on the greens. He did gain strokes with his flat stick last week at Muirfield Village. Just barely, though. About a quarter of a shot per round. So one shot total against the field for 4 rounds. If Lowry's putter wakes up just a little bit more, gets a little bit hotter, I can see him contending for a title this week. He's gone 10th, 2nd, and 12th in his last 3 starts in Canada. Granted, a different golf course, totally different setting this week, but I still think that Shane Lowry likes this golf tournament and will show up for this one. I've got him for a top 5 this week. Hole number 3. How about a long shot here? Because Chez Reavie's starting to play some good golf. I wrote him up in my preview this week at actionnetwork.com for a triple-digit potential outright play, but I think it makes for a nice one and done play for those who are way back. If you want a contrarian play, you're like, hey, I'm in the bottom third my one and done pool. There's only 14 events left. I got to play some catch up. Who can I take that's got some win equity that can help me out this week that nobody else is going to have? I think Chez Reavie is a good answer to that question. I'm going to play him here for a top 10 and a nice number. Again, you can find him at anywhere from 175 to 1 to 200 to 1, 250 to 1 in the marketplace. He's played some decent golf, and of course, a 3-time winner. He's won the Canadian Open in the past and also won the Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands. I mentioned those 3 other potential correlation courses, comp courses, but River Highlands could be one as well. And Reavie, like I said, won there 4 years ago. So I like that as well. Hole number 4. Brandon Wu has played some nice golf this year. A little bit all or nothing. In his last 9 starts, he's missed 5 cuts. All right, not great. But of those other 4 cuts that he's made, 3 of those have been top 20s. And the one that wasn't a top 20 was just one shot outside of the top 20. And so it's either all or nothing. That's okay. At plus 333, 3 and a third to 1. I don't mind taking a chance on Brandon Wu being up there once again. A guy that's played some good golf. Guys are dropping like flies out of this field as they always do the week before the U.S. Open. Either they've played the 36-hole sectional qualifier on Monday and gotten into the U.S. Open and need a week off, or they played, didn't get in, but they're tired and don't want to play. Maybe they got a little injured, whatever the case might be. There are a whole bunch of withdrawals. So this field, not nearly as strong as it was when it was announced on Friday last week. I'll take a shot on Brandon Wu for a top 20. All right, hole number 5. I love this play. I'm going Canadian here, but it's not one of the Canadians that you're probably thinking about. Top 30 play on Aaron Cockerell. All he's done on the DP World Tour has had a breakthrough season. He's playing the best golf of his life over on that tour. Now he gets to come home. He is, like I said, a native of Canada. He gets to come home and maybe show the other guys, the other great Canadian players, the Connors and the Hadwins and the Taylors and the Pendriths and the Hugheses and Svensons. I can go on and on. Gets to show them all that he's got some game too. And so this is a nice opportunity for him. Really good putter. And again, this thing has a chance of turning into a putting contest. Don't be surprised if something well inside 20 under wins this golf tournament. Could be as much as 25 under, 28 under. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's easy. The wind was blowing at least on Tuesday afternoon on the golf course. If the wind doesn't blow throughout the 4 tournament rounds, I mean, we could see some very, very low scores. So I've got Aaron Cockerell there for a top 30 plus 280. Hole number 6. I'm going Canadian again, guys. And again, it's not one that you're thinking of. If you know the name Ben Silverman, if you've seen that name in the news this year, I'm guessing you may not have seen him because he's got 3 top 3s on the Corn Ferry Tour, including a victory. If you remember the name Ben Silverman, it's because he won earlier this year on the PGA Tour. No, not an individual play, but he was half of the winning Pro-Am team at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. He missed the cut that week in the individual portion of the event, but he happened to be paired with a 10 handicap named Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, as he's done so many times on the football field over the years, he propelled his team to victory. So Ben Silverman does have a trophy this year on the PGA Tour, even though, yes, like I said, he missed the cut. Somebody was either sandbagging or just got a bad number. I'll leave it alone. I've been on A-Rod enough already this year for what happened there. I'll leave him alone now. All of that said, Ben Silverman, in his last 11 rounds on the Corn Ferry Tour, He has shot 68 or better in 8 of those rounds. He's a guy that can go low in a hurry for a tournament on a golf course with a field that should have so much variance this week. I'm going to take a shot. And if I'm taking a shot, why not take a shot on a guy who would be a nice story on a Thursday afternoon? So Ben Silverman at 90-1. All right, let's take a chance on that. 7th hole. Keith Mitchell, one of the best drivers of the golf ball on the PGA Tour. You guys know, who listen on a regular basis, I am a massive Keith Mitchell fan. I drive that bandwagon on a regular basis. I'm fading him a little bit this week. I think driver is not as much of a weapon as you'd like it to be on this golf course. Again, just keep in the fairway. You're going to have wedges in. Who keeps in the fairway better than old man Matt Kuchar? Matt Kuchar is even money to beat Keith Mitchell this week. It hasn't been great for Kuchar recently, but he's had a nice season, nice little comeback season. Not quite a Jason Day or Ricky Fowler type of season, but Matt Kuchar is playing some decent golf. Justin Rose, another one I could throw in there. But Kuch playing some decent golf right now. I will take him at an even money play over Keith Mitchell, who quite frankly, and again, I love Keith Mitchell. It's been a little bit disappointing lately. I quite honestly, I have high expectations for him. I expected more. It hasn't quite happened for Mitchell this year, but I do think that it will at some point. All right, 8th hole. Just to tell you how much I like this one, I almost had this player for a top 5. In fact, I had him on my card. I'm holding up my card right now. I had him on my card for a top 5 play. And then said, you know what? His player finishing position market bet is just too good. I have to list him here. So if you're not following Michael Kim on Twitter, he's fantastic. Tweeted out Tuesday night after this whole PGA Tour, PIF, DP World Tour merger, a whole bunch of good talking points. And he honestly hit the nail on the head with pretty much all of them. He is very good, very insightful on Twitter. Like I said, I wanted him for a top 5. I will play him for a top 5 elsewhere. He only has one top 5 this year, but there's a misnomer there because he's finished 6th and 7th in 2 of his last 3 starts. So yeah, okay, one top 5, but he's got 3 top 7s. So he's coming very, very close and coming close recently. You know what his player finishing position bet number is this week? 51st or better at Bet365. Guys, hammer, hammer, hammer. Michael Kim should be on turf that certainly suits his game this week. This is a Michael Kim type place. Remember, he won the John Deere Classic. I think, again, another comp course to Oakdale a little bit. Again, we're not going to find out too much until Thursday when it's a little too late, but I do think that this one should suit him. And again, 51st or better at -120. It's a really nice play at Bet365. All right, we've done it, guys. We've got to the 9th hole. I don't even have to make the turn. I'm just playing a nice little 9-holer all by my lonesome today. But we get to my favorite outright play this week, and it is one of the guys near the top of the board. Remember, guys, I gave you Emiliano Grillo 2 weeks ago. I gave you Victor Hovland last week. They were each winners. You might want to listen up. Tyrrell Hatton is playing the best golf of his life right now. How do I know? Strokes gained total. He is 3rd on the PGA Tour behind only Scotty Scheffler and Jon Rahm. Now, why is that significant? Well, first of all, I think that's the best overall barometer for performance at the highest level is strokes gained total. You can talk about wins and top 10 finishes, sure, but if I just want to know how well a player is playing against the rest of the field, it's strokes gained total. He is averaging more than 2 strokes gained per round against the field. Only 4 players in the previous 5 seasons have averaged that number. Rory McIlroy twice, Jon Rahm, and Dustin Johnson. Those 4 players in those years have combined for 10 victories. All of them won at least once. Tyrrell Hatton, as you might have noticed, has not won yet. He's got 5 straight top 20 finishes, though. 12th last week at the Memorial Tournament. He's knocking on the door against an inferior field. I really like him this week. Throw in one more little piece of reasoning for you, and that's the fact that Hatton loves playing the week before a major championship. He's played before each of the last 4. Okay, a mixed bag of results, a 5th place finish, a 24th, 2 missed cuts, but he is more comfortable playing the week before a major, whereas some other guys might take their foot off the gas pedal just a little bit. Hatton is out there trying to play his best golf this week. He needs a win. He deserves a win. I think a win is coming. The number's a little short. I got him at 14-1 earlier in the week. He's closer to 11, 12-1 now, but shop around, try to find the best number that you can on Tyrrell Hatton. Before we go, another reminder, the Links and Locks podcast is proudly presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game, get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offer available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia in the U.S. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Well, this has been fun. It hasn't been as much fun as when I get to do the pod with Ben, but I will be with him in person in Los Angeles next week for the U.S. Open. Can't wait for that. Remember, everybody, you can find this podcast wherever you find your favorite podcast every single week during the PGA Tour season. Subscribe, rate, download, and listen every week. I'm Jason Sobel from the Action Network saying good luck with all your bets for this week's RBC Canadian Open. Here's hoping you hit the green.